difficulties.
I know.
Hey, but listen, I'm back in the game. YusefWateef for the people who don't know. And this is what I've been telling people in the beginning. First, somebody has me playing on their video, so click mute click mute on the volume if you see me on your YouTube, Ashley, or is that you, Ashley?
Probably.
Yeah, click mute in the video part so that if you're watching me on YouTube, I don't hear the feedback. Is that? It wasn't you. There. Oh, it was you. Yeah, it was you. Click.
I'm not watching you on YouTube. Oh.
I tell everybody that before we even get started talking to click the subscribe and the thumbs up button, because at some point I might say something that's going to upset people, but I don't want you to not come back because we talk about a lot of different things. We talk about international travel, money, Bitcoin, and then we go deep into discussion sometimes about different issues like we're going to talk about tonight. But if tonight isn't your kettle of fish, if tonight isn't what breads your butter, come back another day. And I tell people to subscribe for a month. If they don't like it, I don't want to take up room in your feed. You can go back later, but it's one of those stick around. I try to go live. I promise to go live every Tuesday and Thursday, but I go live just about every day to talk about something. So here's where we are. First, I want to introduce everybody because not everybody know. You know what? It's been a while since both of you have sat down with me. Tell us who you are and tell us your big announcement. You just gave me a big announcement.
Oh, me?
Yes, you're the other one with the announcement.
Well, that's not an announcement. I'm being forced to go back to school. I don't want to be back in college. But yes, my name is Dominique, aka Neek, and I'm going to college, guys.
She has her own YouTube, Neek Speaks.
I'm back in college, and yes, so let's wish me luck. I'm going for a business program, so let's just hope I'm prepared for this. This is new. The first time I was in college, I was going to be a nurse, so this is something very new for me. So yes.
Well, listen, I think it's a good thing. I think that more education is always better than less education, and I hope that if there's anything I can do for you or anybody who, we have a lot of people here who watch this show and come on and chat with us. Hey, what's up, DJ Moss? And I think he's laughing at you. I want to say if we can do anything to help, if I can do anything to help, let me know, all right? But
this announcement is something big because the person who's making me go, you know who that person is.
You really want to do that here and now?
No, let's not do that. No, let's not do that. But yeah.
You know what? I got some words for you when we're done talking.
Okay.
Ashley.
Hey, I'm Ashley. I am supposed to be nearing my D-Day for my move to Brazil, but life happens and all of the money that I had saved to move to Brazil, I had to start a law firm and renovate my house. So, yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to be here by now.
No, I was supposed to be there December 26th.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm off by a few days.
Yeah, so I'm not happy, but it is what it is.
You'll get there.
Well, tell them who you are and what you do.
I am an elder law and estate planning attorney. I am licensed in Arkansas, in the middle of applying for Texas and Tennessee. So I help people protect their assets and pass on generational wealth. I am trying to teach our community how to do that effectively. That's what I do.
Oh, me and you need to exchange information, Ashley.
There, I just see you. No, you don't. Ashley, don't talk to her without me in the room.
No, because I need her help on financial advice and
Yeah,
stuff.
but you know what? This young woman is trying to. She's poking the cage right now because she knows I'm kind of mad at her. But listen, you keep messing around talking about this publicly, and we'll have this discussion. But you won't be happy afterwards.
No.
Oh, I already came ready for something that might be unpleasant. Who here knows who Candace Owens is?
I know who Candace Owens is. She's pretty controversial.
Ashley, do you know who Candace Owens is?
Yeah, I know who she is. I think I follow her.
Okay. Well, first, give us your impression of Candace Owens. Either one of you can go first.
Yeah, I don't really have an impression other than I think she has found a market and she puts on a show. Essentially, I think she's a minstrel, but
Really? So you don't think that she believes the things that she puts forward?
So I live in the South and I see a lot of people like her, but nobody to that extent. So
now, when you say like her, what is she like?
I feel like she just does things to spite non right wing people. So I don't think I'm sure she believes some of it, but to the extent that she takes things, no.
Because Candace Owens is a very open, clear, right-wing Republican black woman who asks questions that a lot of people don't want to ask. I'm not here to decide whether or not Candace Owens as a whole is a good person or a bad person. I want your opinion on her and then what she said. Nick, what did you know about her? What do you know about her?
I seen her on Revolt TV panel. So I seen her at the Revolt.
What is Revolt?
You know, with Revolt, the company that P. Diddy runs, he does he owns the Breakfast Club, and with Charlemagne the God, they had some kind of panel with Killer Mike and T.I., and they discussed a lot of things with Black people. And Candace, she stirred up a lot of stuff, the things that she was saying. But when I seen her on that was my first time actually like really seeing her. She spoke intelligently. Some of the stuff she was saying made a lot of sense. She wasn't saying anything that we hadn't been already saying about the position Black people are in as of today. Her right-wing Republican views are kind of a bit extreme, but she came with facts about how Black people weren't always Democrats. She did know what she was talking about, and in that aspect.
You know, what you said made sense. A lot of the things she talks about. I often feel like Black Americans are truly a people with no country, because neither of the two dominant political parties really care about us as individuals. I think she just has the audacity to say the emperor has no clothes. I often, and by the way, for people who no one asked, and I'm not going to ask you your political affiliations, I'll tell you I'm in the process of registering as an independent because I hate everyone for different reasons. Good evening, reigning woman, your awesomeness. The reason I wanted to put that out there so everybody kind of knows where I'm from. When you say you're an independent, you have no friends. But I often feel like the Republicans publicly declare that they want my skull, on a pike in front of a castle. And the Democratic Party is kind of like an abusive parent. They keep molesting you, but you don't have any place else to go. So you just deal with the trauma afterwards. I want to show you something that she said. It's one of those things that makes you go, and I'm going to show how far back I go. It's like Arsenio Hall used to say, it makes you say, I don't know if you remember that.
I wasn't born, but I did. I watched reruns of the Arsenio Hall show.
How you doing, V? Thanks for stopping by. Let me show you something that she said. I'm going to read this to the team. Candace Owens at the real Candace O. Discussion: should people that do not pay taxes be allowed to vote? The Democrats prey on people who don't contribute because non-contributors will always vote for a system which enables a parasitic lifestyle. Hence, socialism. Agree, disagree, tell me why. Let me say that again. Discussion: should people that do not pay taxes be allowed to vote? The Democrats prey on people who don't contribute because non-contributors will always vote for a system which enables a parasitic lifestyle, hence socialism. Agree, disagree, tell me why. Now, she used some words designed to trigger you. Socialism and parasitic. Okay, I want to put that out there.
I didn't even hear those. All I heard was if they don't pay taxes, they shouldn't vote. So that means the 1% shouldn't vote.
Well, here's the problem. She didn't specify how much you should pay in taxes or whether or not you pay $1 or 1 million. What she said is if you don't pay your taxes, should you be allowed to vote? And that's the crux of it. She didn't say rich or poor. She didn't say a lot of money or a little money. She just flat out said, should people who don't pay their taxes be allowed to vote?
So as a tax professional,
exactly, that's why you're here.
She's implying that the 1% is not going to vote because they're literally the only ones. So low-income people pay more taxes than anyone. So the only people not paying taxes are basically children. Like there's no one not paying taxes. So I need some specifics. So is she talking income taxes? Because all poor people pay income taxes.
What? Wait. All poor people pay income taxes?
All poor people pay income taxes.
I know a lot of poor people that didn't pay their income taxes.
You know a lot of people who got refunds for their taxes. However, they all paid taxes. If you make over $1,700, taxes are coming out. I'll use me for specifics. So on my W-4, I will put 24 down. And a payroll department will look at me and they're like, you don't have 24 deductions. Well, how are you going to tell me? Run it through the system. So putting 24 on a W-4 should have no taxes withheld. No. Taxes are withheld, period.
Before I go into a different area of it, Neek?
Oh, this conversation getting uncomfortable. Taxes, and I don't like the IRS. They on my ass every year. I don't like this conversation. I don't even think I should be on camera. Like she said, we're all being taxed regardless. Like I feel everybody pay. Like I'm in California. This is the most taxed state in the United States. We pay a CRV tax. Other places don't even pay what the hell is a CRV tax? Like, why? I think everybody has to, like she said, who's not paying taxes but children? Like, children don't vote anyway. So what is she trying to imply? She's not being specific in what she stated. She didn't say anything. So what she said was vague.
Well, wait, the art of becoming more said, I'm going to be obtuse. Everyone pays taxes, though. Sales taxes everywhere, so her point is moot. Now, here's where we are with this. I know that people that can effectively, and remember, I came from a world of financial professional before I became editor, proofreader, things that I do now. I know that there are people that can effectively make their tax zero. But I also have seen in practice people who flat out avoid paying and get away with it. They can maneuver the system in such a way that even when they do owe, they don't pay. Is this something you've seen?
Those are few and far between, and they are generally not in our community. Granted, I have seen it in our community, but they are generally not.
They're in a whole different tax bracket, those people.
Slow down. When you say our, what do you mean?
So let me say Black exclusively, minorities generally, and lower middle class and below. I'm just identifying the groups that I belong to.
You know who do it. You know who do it. They don't look like us. That's
but
for
there
sure.
are a few that may look like us, but they identify with various.
They're on a different social status, though. You can agree with that. They have a different tax bracket. They're not.
And there are various religions, and I don't want to say cults, but I can't think of another word.
Here's where it gets awkward for me. By the way, Miss V said those are usually rich, right? The years that I spent as a financial professional, it broke my heart because it showed me how money really works. But had I not had my heart broken, I would not have been able to semi-retire at 37 years old because I got to understand certain things. Now, here's where it gets ugly. What you said, actually, in my opinion, in my experience, has been correct. The problem is there are actually quite a few among us who look just like you or me or one of our cousins that take advantage of those things. The problem is, and I'm going to use this ambiguous we again, right? We learn very early that when you do cross a certain line into financial security, you hide it. Just like all the rich people of every other. Well, it's different. It's different because we have such a small community of it. It's almost like, in those movies where vampires are real, but there's only like 7 in the entire world, so they never meet each other.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are. So I guess my answer was evasive in that regard. Yes, I know that there are, but this is the attorney coming out of me. Those that I have experience with are not breaking the law. So I know that's not the best argument for lots of things, but if the tax code says I don't owe, I don't owe. I don't care what you're paying. The tax code said I don't owe, so I'm good. And that is what I advocate. That is why I try to teach my clients. Granted, yes, I know my tax dollars funds lots of things, but yeah, I don't have to pay that. I can pay this or I can pay nothing.
By the way, shout out to Milestone Language School. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Please be sure to share and make sure you share this somewhere. Here's the problem, though. Now, when Candace Owens said, and for the people who may not have been here before, we're discussing Candace Owens, who said, essentially, should people who don't pay taxes be allowed to vote? Here's where it gets awkward again. I think that when we say don't pay taxes, everyone wants to believe that they're talking about poor people not paying taxes. Could it be that she's talking about those giant companies? And as I sit here on a MacBook Pro computer produced by a company that does not pay taxes, with accessories all around me, purchased from Amazon, who, again, say it with me, children, don't pay taxes, right? Could this be her way of implying that, well, wait a minute, why do they get to have a say in who runs the government, who gets to vote, if they're not paying taxes in the country that's giving them all these benefits?
But considering they are a super small subset of the population, there's still the Citizens United case says they can use their money to persuade these people. So
let's back up. You said they're small. I disagree. These are giant multinational corporations. These are not small.
But corporations don't vote. Corporations buy the vote. But people, only technically only people are at the ballot box. So the 1% is made up of what, 2,200 people? So let's say none of those 2,200 people can vote, but those 2,200 people control lobbyists. Then what? So whatever side she was saying, if they don't pay taxes, they shouldn't vote. Okay. So whether she directed that at the 1% or the 57%, the 57% has significantly more people in it than the 1% does. So I feel like she was directing it at the poor.
What do you think, Meek? Without incriminating yourself, I don't want you going to prison behind talking about some tax nonsense you shouldn't be talking about.
I should not be on camera. Initially, I feel that she was, again, I agree with Ashley talking about the poor, but now from your perspective, when she said that, perhaps she's saying the 1%, it could be a possibility, but knowing how Candace is as a Republican, I don't feel she was directing that towards the 1% because Republicans most of them are wealthy. So I don't think she was directing that towards them. I feel it could be either way. I feel her statement was too vague for us to really tell like what she meant by this.
Then maybe that's what made it a good conversation piece. Because, by the way, that's her Twitter. If anybody wants it, it's at Real Candace O. I see her as an agitator. You know, one of the things that I tell people, I'm a social agitator. I see her as someone saying things that a lot of people understand and think, but don't talk about. Like The Art of Becoming More, who said, your vote is not as powerful as the influence of their money. Miss V, who said, you can circumvent the rules without breaking them, which is something that I saw and dealt with in the financial community all the time. I'm sure Ashley can definitely get down on this one. Understanding where those corners are.
They're everywhere.
I love how a lawyer answers. I love how she answers.
We are taught that a page has 4 corners in real life, but when you go to law school to learn the tax code, listen, every single one of them letters on that page has a corner.
Yeah, it's. And so here's the other problem. When we talk about voting, what I think that we're missing is, what if we're thinking too big? You know, one of the arguments that I have with my friends, because I only argue with friends, I don't argue with strangers, that's dangerous. I argue with my friends, and one of the things I tell them is, I really don't care whether or not you vote for president. I want you to, but isn't it more important for you to vote for your local sheriff, who might be in charge of the cops harassing you and kicking your ass on the side of the road? Isn't it more important for you to vote for your local, what's the name of that administrator? What is the name of the administrator? The school director?
Your superintendent?
Your school board.
Yeah, the director of the school board or superintendent, who helps deal with what the curriculum will be for your children, making sure they never learn anything about Black history. Have you thought about electing or not electing that person? Because you might not be able to affect things on a presidential scale. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. We can argue that all day. But you can definitely make life hard for a dirty politician in your city. You can definitely get a couple hundred people together and march outside his office and say, we don't want this guy to be our next judge, to be our next mayor.
So let me run with that for you. So I'm here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And
Arkansas. Isn't that a violent place?
No.
Wow, violent.
So the historic Central High School is here, and it is a part of the Little Rock School District. Well, last year, the state took over the school district and got rid of the school board, the citizen elected school board, and the state now administers the entire school district. Well, the majority of the school district is Black. And Central just happens to be in the middle of it, where it's like one of the top schools in the whole country. But instead of reinstating the school board, the state decided to give control to our newly elected Black mayor and allow him to appoint a director of education. Still not elected by the people. And we also, here in March, in my county, Pulaski County, there are 13 judges, and 9 of them are up for re-election, or actually 9 of the seats will be vacant come this March election. 9. There's never been this many open seats at one time.
How did that happen?
We don't have term limits, but we have age limits. So 6 of those 9 judges are aging out, and 3 of them are running for the Supreme Court. Our judges are elected here. So that's different from a lot of other states. So we have all of this going on at once, and the election's in March. The general election is in November. What do you think voter turnout is going to be in March? Judges control a lot here. Judges have a lot of discretion.
Month, by the way. That's weird.
Yeah. But trying to get people out to realize, oh, I just had this conversation with someone. You are mad that child support ordered you to pay more money than you make. Who decides child support? Here in Arkansas, judges decide what you pay in child support. So
stop the show. Gentlemen, don't put your wallet and your balls in somebody else's hands. Wear a condom.
Yes, perfect ad for the condoms. But even if you're unemployed, you have to pay $50 a week in child support, even if you're unemployed. So, yeah.
Oh, wait. Nick, read what Art of Becoming More said.
Those local actions are not as sexy as the national conversations. That's the issue. And I agree with her. It's not, because I feel like they've always promoted national voting versus local voting because they want us to stay ignorant about what's going on. Because this last, 2 years ago, that was the first time I ever voted, like, locally. I never, voted before that. I didn't know anything about local voting at all. And I think voting is confusing. That's why I don't do it. I think they use words to confuse you.
Wait. What about understand? Let's back up. We don't have civics classes anymore. We don't have classes that teach people.
Yeah, they don't teach us. That's why I've always stayed away from. But I've never voted nationally.
I'm Generation X, so I was taught about voting. Maybe not as much as my parents were, but I was definitely taught about voting. And I'm Generation X.
My mom is older than you, and she doesn't know. She didn't learn voting. Maybe it's depending on the school district. Maybe it's depending on where you're from. I don't know.
Well, I was born in Niagara Falls, New York.
Oh, okay. Well, my mom is from Watts, California, so it may be a little different, but I feel like a lot of people are ignorant about voting, like the terms that they use, like just for example, like the local voting, when they say yes on prop so-and-so or no on prop, people don't know what they're really voting. People will vote yes, but they really mean no. So they don't know what they're doing. They just go to the voting booth and just check anything. And they don't look up these terms. They don't look up anything of what they're supposed to, like the vocabulary. And I think it's kind of sad because now we have accessibility to things like Google. Now we can look up these words. So it's really no excuse to be ignorant of it. But at the same time, I feel it is wrong because they could use simple terms for people. They don't have to use the terms that they use.
I think you're connected with Ashley though, because Ashley, you just talked about having the state take over the school department, right?
Mhm.
Now, if anybody disagrees with me, please raise your hand. You do not want the state to take over any part of your society.
No.
It would be bad. But now we're in a situation where she's talking about how she didn't get to learn certain things. Now it's being controlled by the state, who has a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. Did we not? Now do we just see the snake eating its own tail?
Yep. Closing
Mr. Minnick
schools,
says this.
busing. Yeah.
This is not exclusively in the U.S. It's also here in Brazil, or in my country of origin, the Netherlands. The left always claims to be helping the poor, but not totally getting them out of their misery. I like that last part. Claims to be helping the poor, but not totally getting them out of their misery, because no one benefits if you don't have a thorn in your side to complain about. They have to have something to save you from. And that's why again, if the right wing is the equivalent of being assaulted in prison, then the left wing is the equivalent of being assaulted by a loved one at home. It's like, do my analogies upset you?
It's funny because so our state is very I don't want to say unique, but it is. So Little Rock is blue. What we would call Central Arkansas is blue, surrounded by a sea of red. The entire state is red, except for Central Arkansas, which is maybe 500,000 people, maybe. So the entire population of Arkansas may be 3 million. So there's this Central Arkansas that's blue, and everything else is red, and it's controlled by Walmart. So for those who don't know, Walmart is headquartered in Arkansas.
Yeah, it started in Arkansas, Mr. Wally.
Yeah, so it's still very much headquartered here. Now ask me, how many schools has Walmart opened up in Little Rock since the state took over? 4.
That's a trick question. There's no correct answer.
Walmart has opened 4 schools in Arkansas. And
really?
so many people outside of Arkansas don't even realize that Walmart's in the school business, but
they are. I worked for Sam's Club, so Walmart is very evil. I hate Walmart. I worked for Sam's Club. Those people are evil. And I don't advise anybody to shop there or work there.
But here's how the circle gets you economically. It's not a matter of do you want to shop at Walmart or Sam's Club. It's can you afford not to?
No, look. I think it's complete BS because you can afford not to. I think people personally, I don't even shop at regular grocery stores. I shop at Costco. Honestly, people can afford a Costco's card. I'm sorry. And people, especially even people with larger families, Costco has where you have bulks. So you can buy in bulks just like you buy at Sam's Club. The membership may be cheaper at Sam's Club, but I feel Costco has better quality. Personally, in my opinion, I don't know. I just don't like Walmart. Those people are evil. I think they're like she said, they're in the school business.
Out there, I am not a Walmart hater.
Okay, well here, let me give you my take on why Walmart wins, right? And I freely admit that I am facilitating evil by shopping there, but here's the problem.
I facilitated evil too. I'm still low-key facilitating evil because I still pick money up from there and I still do other things. But
this is where Walmart gets you. It's not like you go there just to buy your vegetables. They literally set up, and for anyone who's never been to a super Walmart, even by my standards, who's traveled the world and back again, they are mind-blowing. Like sometimes I still forget because I go back and forth in the United States and I might not be back for a few years. The concept of having one place where you can buy all the food you need for yourself and your children at an affordable rate, all the clothes your children might need for yourself and family at an affordable rate, a television, furniture, a pet.
You can get your oil changed, you can get your hair done, you can get your nails done.
We do all this at Costco's except the nails.
Here's another difference. Ready though? At Walmart, if anything goes wrong with anything you've ever purchased ever, they'll just give you another one. They put you in a situation Where, for example, I have a dear friend who worked there, and she told me that part of their training was that if any circumstance arose that you were not smiling at a customer, you could just be fired. Tiny things like that they do. Tiny things like if you ask, hey, where are the eggs? They can't tell you. They have to walk with you.
I don't know. My personal experience, I hate Walmart workers. And I feel like that with Costco. Like literally, I can open up something and half of it to be gone, and I can take it back to Costco, and they're so forgiving. They're like, okay, like they will allow me to. I don't know. I just love Costco.
Wow, you just like being mean then.
Like,
So we don't have Costco.
that's what I'm saying. Other states don't have them. Because when I was on the road with my mom, she truck drive, and we going through different states. Other states don't have them as much as we do here in California. And that's why I've been kind of scared to move out of state. I'm like, no, I don't want to leave Costco. What do you guys just have Sam's Club, or because I know you're in Arkansas, so
Sam's Club isn't really big here. There's Little Rock and North Little Rock. They're two different cities. Mm-hmm. So there's one in each city, and between the two cities and the little suburbs, we may have 15, 16 Walmarts. So Walmart and Sam's Club are not the same.
Yeah. They're two different.
They're two different brands, two different companies. But yeah, we have 16 Walmarts, and yeah.
Oh wow! How big is the population again there?
So I think Little Rock is like almost 200,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's literally a Walmart. A Walmart is not more than 5 miles away from me in any direction.
Oh right, yeah. Well, did you know Walmart? Someone told me that a Walmart is like a United States Navy battleship in the ocean. There is a bubble around it of so many miles, and nothing else is allowed to exist. If you have a store within, I think it's like 20 miles of a Walmart, you will just go out of business.
But see, that changed for me because. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have like regular grocery stores. Like there's Kroger, there's Whole Foods, Trader Joe. Like those are grocery stores. But then Walmart is in a category of its own. Like we have super Krogers that sell furniture, and they compete with, Walmart. Actually, I think we have 2 of those. But and then there's Target. I don't think we have any super Targets, but there's Target. So we used to have Kmart.
Wait, she said, Miss V said, I've never seen a Costco. I think there's one in Houston. We have Sam's Club and 3 Walmart in a 30-mile radius.
Oh my god, that's cringy for me.
Oh, and we also have something called Walmart Neighborhood Market. So it's a smaller version of the Super
I love
Center.
the neighborhood markets; they're cute.
Yeah,
but it's different because when I moved back to LA in 2016. When I moved back, we had a Walmart like in the hood, like in the Crenshaw area, like it was in the Crenshaw Mall, but Walmart was taking those people's customers, like the stores that were around in LA, they pushed Walmart out. They made them shut it down, and they had to leave LA, like that, the heart of LA where I'm from, they had to leave the Crenshaw district. They could no longer be there. So I had to drive all the way to Gardena, which is like 30 minutes away.
By the way?
Huh?
What was the starting event that had them getting kicked out?
I guess the local store owners around the Crenshaw district had a problem with Walmart because they were taking all the customers from them. Like everybody was going to that Walmart. That Walmart had been there for years, but these people who were building surrounding stores around, they felt like, I guess it wasn't fair. So they pushed most of the Walmarts out of LA that were in my area. So you would have to drive far places. Like there's Walmart in like Long Beach, but that's far from where I'm coming from. That's 30, 40 minutes away, or 20, 25 minutes. That's a long drive just to get to a Walmart,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember living in Manhattan and having to drive to Queens to go to Walmart. So,
What does this tell us if we're willing to do it?
I mean, I'm from Arkansas, so for me to go somewhere and not see a Walmart is strange to me. I mean, I lived in Australia and I literally contemplated going to the West Coast for a Walmart. Like it's ingrained.
But
We have millions of them out here. It's a lot of Walmarts out here, but in LA, because right now I live in the Inland Empire. I live in Rancho Cucamonga, so it's more out here in the high deserts. But when you go back to LA, it's not really a lot of Walmarts in LA. You'll find them in like West Hollywood. You'll find like I think it's like one in West Hollywood, honestly, that I've been to. There's not a lot of Walmarts at all in LA area. Surrounding outside of cities, maybe when you go like to Burbank or you may see more Walmarts, but in the heart of LA, you won't see them much.
Wow. That's savage.
So to go back to your original thing that I think you were hinting at, I can be rage against the machine of Walmart and their failure to do lots of things such as appropriately pay their employees and still shop at Walmart because that's life.
Yeah, they pay. Well, I thought Walmart and Sam's Club were the same company because when I worked there, like when I worked at Sam's Club, like they had us go through this whole history of Walmart, like about Sam Walton who built it, and like they were like, he started and.
Well, you got to remember,
Walmart is
Sam's
headquartered
West
in
Incorporated.
Bentonville,
They're
and
owned by Walmart.
Oh, what'd you say?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear both of you.
Is wholly owned by Walmart, and they run Costco. They are the same company. They are. They really are.
I'm hurt.
No,
the Costco workers get paid way more. Costco work. I wasn't getting paid anything when I worked for Sam's, but Costco workers get paid really good. Like that's why they're always happy. They get out here. I don't know about other states, but Costco workers here get paid 19, 18.
Now, aren't you glad you're in college?
Huh?
Aren't you glad you're in college?
No. No, I haven't started yet. I'm going this spring semester. I'm not ready. I'm not. I'm being honest. I said I would never.
But okay. So if we go back to that whole, if you don't pay your taxes, should you vote? Should there be? Okay, I don't know if people remember what a poll tax is. It was used to keep Black people away from voting, meaning you had to pay a fee to go vote. But most Black people were too poor. Are we looking at a situation where her implying that only people who paid their taxes should be allowed to vote? Do you think that's an unreasonable statement? Is it unreasonable to say that it doesn't matter how much or how little you have to pay, $1 or $1 million, if you're not paying taxes, you should lose the privilege of being able to vote?
In that context, I mean, I thought the statement was wrong from jump, but I mean, that is essentially a poll tax. No, not essentially. That is a poll tax.
Yeah, I think it is a poll tax. Like, I don't know, because like, are we like, okay, those people who don't pay taxes, are they really not paying tax? Like, everything we buy has a tax on it. So who's really not paying any? Like, we get taxed for everything we purchase. To live, you're taxed to breathe. Like, we're paying for air. Like, think about it. Like, we have a gas bill, electricity bill. We're getting paid for essential stuff that used to be in yesteryear were free. We were free but we're getting taxed for essential things. Like, and I'm a person who don't believe in taxes. We should not be paying taxes in general. I don't believe in that. Like, I feel a lot of what.
Well, wait. Let me back up. Let me do two things. One, because I'm gonna go to that in a second. But let me ask you, Ashley. You said it is a poll tax in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. So a poll tax, by definition, if we're just going to go by a simple Wikipedia, a poll tax, also known as a head tax or capitation, is a tax levied as a fixed sum on every liable individual. That meant when you went to pay to vote, if you couldn't put a few coins inside the jar, you lost the privilege of voting, which cut out poor people. Are you saying that poor people who don't pay their taxes and rich people who don't pay their taxes are essentially being poll taxed? Because the poll tax, it's based on you paying your taxes. I mean, excuse me, Candace V's option says you should be paying your taxes even if those taxes are low.
In this instance, the tax is applied to everyone. So the failure to pay, whoever it is, it's the tax. They're not paying their poll tax, so they can't vote. So historically, it's only been charged to a certain subset of people. In this instance, it's charged to everyone. There's just people who can't afford to pay. So yes, still a poll tax.
Nick, you said you don't believe that we should be paying taxes.
No,
I have a hard time with that one, but I want you to have the time you need to really express why you believe that and if it's even viable.
I don't. I just don't believe that we should. Like, why should we pay taxes? Like, what is, like, honestly, ask yourself, what purpose? Because essentially, constitutionally, individuals like you and me, or just me personally, who works a 9 to 5, who you're not supposed to pay taxes. Constitutionally, corporations and businesses are supposed to pay tax. Those were the only people who originally, how it's supposed to go, individuals weren't supposed to. That's not what it was initially. If we're speaking constitutional wise, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like, business people.
Well, I want to whip out my pocket constitution. I'm not a constitutionalist. I can't quote chapter and verse of the Constitution the way some of my friends, some of the people watching this can, some of my guests can. Can you tell me where to go in my little pocket constitution?
Go to, let me see. Let me Google. This is what it's for.
So I want to jump in. I actually teach it.
Oh, well, there you go. While we're looking.
Yes, we're here to learn something tonight.
So it is actually very constitutional to tax. Our rates, however, are discretionary, and I have no problem with taxes because I see the benefit of them. I have a problem with disproportionate taxes. So the Constitution does specifically mention taxes, specifically mentions paying taxes. It does not specifically mention who. So it gives discretion to the legislative branch, and the legislative branch has assigned that to the Internal Revenue Service to determine our taxes. So our tax code is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, and it changes every year. I'm completely behind, so I haven't actually looked at what's changed for this year or if anything has changed for this year. But yes, taxes are constitutional. Taxes have been around as long as people have been around. They're not going anywhere. We just need to figure out a better way to calculate who owes what.
Well, let me do something real quick as a public service. I want everybody to also, just like I show you different places to go to look for different people on YouTube, I want everybody to go check out archives.gov. It's a government site, high resolution downloads. Go ahead and get yourself a copy of the Declaration of Independence. Get a copy of the Constitution. You can put it on your phone. They're not that big. Put one on your phone. Put one in your pocket. What I tell people is read it. Read it a little bit a day. Read it a little bit every day, and you'd be amazed at what you find out and how it may help you later. And I think that Nick is looking for her section for us. I want to say something, and I want to make sure. I'm going to do two things. One, Miss V said, I think taxes allow cities and states to sustain themselves, but we shouldn't have to pay income tax. Debatable, but I want to get that opinion out there. But then there's another, okay, here's the thing. I agree with proportionate taxing. Don't worry about it, but Ms. Jones, because you said I apologize for choppy answers. My question is, are you talking about charging people a percentage of their income? Because what I've learned, and Ashley, you can tell me if you agree or disagree, there is no fair way to tax people. Because if you charge everybody a lump sum, well, the people with more money will also see that lump sum is a smaller part of their income. But if you charge everyone a percentage, it still benefits the person that has more money in the beginning anyway, because for a bus driver to lose 10% of his income to a tax as opposed to, I don't know, a congressman, you're talking about two totally different levels. Am I wrong here?
No, absolutely not. I have not put together a concrete answer on how I feel about the different proposals on taxes. I just know I pay a lot. Not necessarily income tax. I pay a lot of sales tax. So I feel like I just think our system needs to be simplified. Whatever
Well, why
I'm
system when
paid,
that would mean the average person could contest things that weren't going their way?
I mean, the average person can do it now.
Hmm?
The average person can contest things now.
Do you know how few people contest things that even know they can be contested? Tiny number. You and I, the three of us sitting here are not, and I'm going to say something totally judgmental and classist, blah, 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 fuck anybody doesn't like it. We are average people. The people who come here and chat with me, we're not average people. We have a little bit more worldliness. We've traveled a few more places. We have a little bit more education. The average person doesn't know you can contest.
I'm average. Where do you see me? I'm average. I'm not in y'all tax bracket. I'm not rich yet. I'm like y'all. Yeah, I'm an average Joe. I'm an average Joanna. Okay, like I don't. I have not been places. I think my intellectuality may be a little bit, but worldly, unfortunately, not yet. But
well, since Ashley's not coming, you can come hang out with me in Brazil. Now, what were you gonna say, Ashley?
Shade. Okay. I just the tax issue is sensitive for me because that's my day to day, and yeah, like with the new tax law that went into effect, I'm gonna lose money because so many of my clients that were regulars can now do their own taxes. They don't need me, so I'm a little salty about that. But at the same time, that's fine. But
I know I've been doing my own. I've been learning to do my own taxes. I'm happy
it's so
about it.
simple. I want to tell the world it's so simple. If you don't have, if you just have income from W-2s, it's simple. Do your own taxes. Stop paying people like me.
You're too fair. Okay, so I have a question. Like, okay, so are you a tax preparer or like are you a tax strategist?
It depends on the day.
Because I may need you. Because I may need a tax strategist.
So it is now. So for tax professionals, our year is divided. So we have now officially entered personal return season. It's December. So I have clients that I have to get their issue their 1099, their W-2s for them by January 31st. So, and then I'll go into, so that's for my business clients. And then for personal, I only have a few, but I do, I prepare returns for businesses. That'll take me through those who actually file on time. I have to get those in by March. So the year is now starting for me and ending for mostly everyone else. But for people who, if you don't own a business and you just have income, do your own taxes.
Well, we'll get this.
Because I'm getting to the business sector of things and I need help. I don't want to get caught up in any of this stuff I'm not trying to get caught up.
I have an idea because I'm going to show you something. First, the art of becoming more said it's an issue of knowledge and understanding access, not tax brackets or above average. But here's what I want to show you, and I want to show everybody this before I go into the next comment. I did something called Expat Money with Lawyers and How My Mustache Taught Me Girls. Well, Alinda is an international lawyer, and she ended up talking about people who do tax preparing for 4 months out of the year, and it facilitates their lifestyle for the rest of the year. And she said there are a lot of people out there that are missing a job opportunity for a career that you can learn it, take a few exams, and be fully able to make enough money to last all year working 3 or 4 months. And then traveling, going to other countries and doing other things. I know a few people who live that lifestyle, and I hope a few people go check that out, right?
Absolutely. One of my clients is actually hiring tax preparers now. Like she's doing the class, I think tomorrow. And I want to say they pay pretty good. So, yeah.
So here's my question. Would you come back and chat with us for a little while on what to look at when you're preparing your own taxes? Like what information you should get, what goes, what you need to get together. I'm not asking you for specific information because as an accredited professional, you probably can't do something like that online. But would you sit down and give a lot of the people just some of those jewels that they might need to make it easier and put you out of a job?
Absolutely. Sure.
No, she's going to have more work because there's more people like me who want to start businesses and stuff. She's going to have plenty of work.
Because I am literally transitioning away all of my personal returns. I'm trying to focus on, I'm actually transitioning a lot of my LLC returns. I'm trying to focus solely on corporate returns.
Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Which is a whole nother video that you should do.
Okay, so do you want to come back next Tuesday?
Let's see.
No, she's going to the calendar. We might get her, folks. We might get her.
This is all insightful information.
What time on Tuesday?
I would say 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, which is better for you.
Probably 9. Next Tuesday is the 17th. Yeah, 9.
Ms. V said they advertise training for that there every January. Is Ms. V? Yeah. Ms. V is in Houston, right?
I think she is.
Because I'm trying to move to the Fort Worth area. And not Houston, but the Fort Worth.
Then here we are. So it looks like it's going to be us next week, 9 Eastern. And I appreciate it. And we'll talk about 2 halves. We'll talk about it individually. We'll talk about, hey, you can talk about people like me who make it a point to make income that falls underneath the bar. That way I don't have, I'm poor.
I'm poor. I am absolutely poor.
Why are you guys saying this? We don't speak that. No, we're not. We're rich. We're abundant. We're prosperous. No, I'm speaking this on my life.
You know what I hope for you?
Those are not mutually exclusive.
I hope that you get to the point. I hope that we can help you get to the point where you understand what we just said.
Yeah.
I hope we can educate you to the point and get you where you understand exactly what we were just talking about.
Well, when I
And
start school, I will be able to understand what you're talking about because I'm going into a business program. So I'm going into what I think the class is business law. I don't know. It's a whole program, but I'm going to be learning the vernacular. So I feel over the course of this year, my vernacular will be better in the business spectrum.
well, listen, we're going to wrap it up for everybody in front. You two stay behind the doors with me because we got some chatting to do real quick as we hash some things out. For everybody to stop by, love you, thank you. And I end with something that I usually stay in the middle because I'm not a YouTuber and I don't get paid from YouTube. So I always show people, what do I do? How do I, make a living that allows me to do things like this for fun? And what I tell people, I'm an editor, copy editor, proofreader. If you have a resume that needs to be written or rewritten, if you have a book that needs to be edited into university level English, I've done papers. All those things need to be done on a level of English that the average person can't do, but you're going to be graded on, or you're going to make money on, or you're using in your career. That's where I come in. And I show people this all the time. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm the same person everywhere. I don't use pseudonyms. And what I encourage you to do is not to look at my resume first. What I encourage you to do is scroll all the way down, and I want you to make the first stop you make right down here, not on skills and endorsement, but on recommendations. I want you to look at what other respected professionals have said about me, how I got where I am, the level of professionalism that I can carry forward, and the level of trust and respect that I've earned. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm looking forward to talking to everybody again. And I'm going to click off now, and make sure you share this. Share this on your Twitter or your Facebook or your LinkedIn. I tell everybody to share this on their Tinder profile, because what you do is you say, hey, listen, we both swiped left, or right rather. So what are we going to talk about afterwards? Let's have conversations like these people. Put something out that's going to make you stand out. Put my name out there. This is how I meet people. I'm out here campaigning for you guys. I love everybody, and thank you so much. Hope you have a great night wherever you are. Bye-bye.